But then I
Yeah.
also pointed out sometimes a little girl is really just a little girl. How do you know the difference? That question came up when we were having this discussion, somebody and I, the other night, right?
Hmm. Well, yeah, there's some, because a lot of us have been and worked around child spirits, you can definitely tell after a while the ones that really are children, and it breaks your heart.
Yep.
And it's like, why haven't these poor kids crossed over? And you have all of these horrible, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching thoughts go through your head, like, if there's anything more powerful than what I understand to be true in existence, why are these poor little kids left behind? You know, and it's hard. But
But
then
that's, oh, go ahead,
go
sorry.
ahead.
All I was going to say is these were little girls that were doing exactly what you're talking about,
Hmm.
sort of maintaining this facade of crying and I've lost my mommy. Where's my mommy? And I can't find my
Hmm.
mommy. And can you help me? But then again, you know what? And I could be wrong, but to me, I kind of hold the thought that if somebody or something is lying, and these things are not infallible, they're not perfect in any by any sense of the word, then eventually they're going to trip up and you're going to figure it out. And that goes with humans as well. We can't keep up the facade for, all the time.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm sorry to interrupt that thought. It is time for us to go to our break here at the top of the hour. This is Seraphine Hurley and Lorley Potvin here and Tripping the Void and the Angel Rocker tonight here. So we will catch you right back. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 45 minutes after the hour.
All right. Thank you for hanging in and hanging out. This is Tripping the Void with Seraphine Hurley. And tonight we have my extra special guest, Laura Lee Podfin of the Angel Rock or the Angel Rocker, the Angel Rock Tribe. So, Laura Lee, we've been talking about spirit guides and how do you know if it's a guardian angel, a guide, or a malicious spirit. Um, we really don't know for sure really ever until we have some definitive questions. And when we left for break, we were talking about children and how malicious or malevolent scheming types will like try to take the form of a little child and manipulate us with that, pulling on our heartstrings, that, oh, that poor little baby. But over time, like a lot of us who've worked in the field know the difference most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. I'm not going to say I'm a master. That it's, a child and not a malignant crappy little thing that just is taking the form of that child and stealing it just to manipulate us people, especially parents who are going to feel really bad, you know. So,
Exactly.
go ahead and finish your thought, Laura, on the child spirits. You
Well,
were
first of
talking.
all, thank you so much for having me here. I missed you. I love doing this with you.
Well, I love doing this with you too. I mean, everything goes by so quickly,
I
but
know. Well, with children's spirits, like before the break, I was saying that, I think that, like I said, we do have a female shapeshifter here, for example, for ourselves. And in the beginning, when I was actually able to have somebody come here and try and clear the house locally, and my oldest son at the time had never been able to sleep in that bedroom. He eventually moved out. He's still to this day, and he's 23, does not sleep in that bedroom.
Mhm.
And he wasn't home. We had the kids out of the house when the house clearing was being done. And she said, "Oh my goodness, there's this poor little girl. She's about 4 years old with this blonde ponytail, little white nightgown, and she's
Aw.
been trapped in the closet for hundreds of years. That's why she was so angry." And I felt really good about that for about a day. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I wish my son had been home. I'm sure he would have felt so vindicated all these years. Not that we didn't believe him, but I mean to
Right.
know that what he was seeing and what he was feeling was really there. And
Mhm.
then as I started to think about it and the activity that had gone on and the things we had heard and we had seen, I
Mhm.
thought, there is no gall darn way that was a little girl in there.
Right.
So, like I said, even piecing the clues together, the evidence, we were able to figure it out. So you can't always pick it up by energy signature, and that does take practice.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think you just have to keep an open, inquiring mind, almost play detective. Like I was saying before the break, and it's just my belief system, but also with something negative and malevolent, say such as a schemian or a trickster spirit taking the form of a little girl. They're
Mhm.
not perfect, and neither are human beings. So they're not
Mhm.
going to be able to uphold that facade
Right.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're going to slip up somewhere.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you'll see it or you'll catch it if you watch long enough.
Yep.
Um, Definitely, and that's why it's super important that when you are investigating something like that, may it be in your home or if it's with a team of people that you've been working with, or if curiosity's gotten the best of you, you're following something around, be very careful because those things can really get you. I mean, I'm not here to tell you that you can get not seriously injured by a spirit because spirits can injure you in more ways than you can probably even imagine.
Oh yes, yes. I've been burnt. Looks like a cigar had been burnt on me.
Mhm.
Bites, scratches. You've been injured before. My husband's been
Mhm.
thrown 15 feet. But the other thing I was thinking too is, you know what? If it really is, say, a little girl
Mhm.
and she's not malevolent, there are ways to test negative entities with things
Mhm.
that will be able to show their ugly heads. I mean,
Mhm.
some will react to salt. There could be holy water. Usually smudging doesn't do much, I found, with something if it's really powerful, except for really make it angry.
Mhm.
But you know what? Those are things you can certainly do. Say if that was somebody that was, I wouldn't be walking into a house trying to clear out spirits if you have no clue what you're doing. But if that's
Yeah,
something, that
please
you've had,
don't do
if
that.
I'm meeting people like that or people posting, I've never had a negative experience with the paranormal. I want one so badly.
Don't
Careful
ask.
what you ask for.
Yeah, be very careful
Yeah.
what you ask for. Oh my gosh. I mean, I personally, one of the worst attachments that I ever had was by something that I thought was going to be just a breeze through. I was just one of the extra people and I was just dealing with equipment. I was just there as an extra pair of eyes and ears, doing research, going to City Hall, getting maps, this and that. And this, I thought was going to be not a big deal, turned into something that followed me home, and
Oh.
I had a bite mark so large I actually went and showed a pastor, on the back of my elbow. There, I mean, I've got witnesses. I have 6 witnesses who saw this. There's no way that I could bite the back of my elbow, but the
Yeah.
circumference of the bite wound
Mhm.
was like, take your thumb and your pointy finger and go like around your mouth and then make it bigger, like over your nose. Like it went from above my right where my elbow is to like almost like I would say 2.5 inches or more,
Wow.
almost 3 inches in diameter. That's big.
That's huge.
And it almost drew blood. And I didn't feel it until I woke up.
Oh,
And I
wow.
hardly ever sleep. So
Oh,
whatever it was waited until I was so entirely knackered
yeah.
and then took advantage of me and hurt me to the point that I actually went to a pastor,
Wow.
to a prophetic ministry and showed them. And when I showed them that, they
Yeah.
didn't even know what to say. They'd never seen anything like it before. And I'm like, that's nothing. I've been thrown. I've had my hair pulled. I've
Yeah.
been, well, scratched is nothing once you get bit
Oh,
or
I
burned.
agree. Well, I've sent you pictures of the bite on my husband. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is with the one at our house. I call him the butt monster because
right.
the burn I got him on that looked like a cigar was right on my tailbone. There's no
Ah,
way on God's green earth it could have done it. And it was on my hubby's upper left buttock cheek. That's why I don't post those pictures. I mean,
right,
I cropped it enough that I wasn't showing off his butt cheek to you, but you've
right.
seen it.
I,
It looked like
I did
point.
not see, I did not see the Dell's booty. I did
No,
not.
no, not
I
the
just
Del.
saw burns.
No, that was on the back of my autistic son's neck. He looked like he had been hung across the back of his neck. And I know they weren't there the night before because had given him a shower and he woke up in the morning and said, "Mommy, my neck hurts." And I took pictures of that. Looked like a cross between a burn and a bruise. So these
hmm
things can hurt you.
Oh yeah, I've woken up with rug burn, or it felt and looked like a rug burn, but when I took my turtleneck off, like I had a polo neck sweater on, like one of those old school Ralph Lauren folding down ones that were really
Right,
nice when they used to make them. And
right.
we had stayed the night at this institution, and it was up north in Canada, like really close to Vancouver, Canada. And I'd woken up and there were several other people there, and I was getting ready to change my clothes. And one of my friends came up behind me and were like, "What did you do to your neck?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What's wrong?" And it didn't hurt until I saw it. And it looked like I
Oh,
had a rug burn the shape of a thick rope all the way around
oh,
my neck with a graze across my right shoulder. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
oh.
But
But that you need respect though with these things too, right? Because with the TV shows out there, I love the fact that the paranormal is a more open topic to discuss. But you get people thinking that that's the norm to walk in and be really provoking with spirit as
provoking,
well.
or that nothing's going to happen to you, or these are extreme situations. It doesn't happen to you all of the time, but when it does, it scars your brain for the rest. You remember these things, guys. Hearing the voices or seeing shadows moving on their own, or watching or having items move, and have you be freaking out trying to find your keys, and then find your keys somewhere where you would not put your keys. Um,
Oh, that happened all
that
the time at our house. They'd be right
that'll screw you.
there, and you put your phone, yep, put your phone down, bend down to put your shoes on, stand up, the keys are gone. You tear the house apart,
hmm
thinking, well, maybe I didn't see them, and you cancel your appointment. Then you go by after you've canceled the appointment, maybe an hour later to go get the mail or the new, flyers. There's your keys sitting right where you saw them before you put your phone down and bent down to put your shoes on.
hmm
Mm.
Or
But
I found my keys actually in odd places where I normally wouldn't have my keys at all, like upstairs in an upstairs cupboard closet,
or
in
in
the like
in
where
the
you keep
freezer,
extra toilet tissue.
or in
I
the
mean,
freezer. Mine have been in there, and we didn't put them in the freezer.
You know, I mean,